Did you know? JW. Westcott II operates out of Detroit, serving as the only floating post office in the entire world delivering mail to ships as they pass by. They even have their own unique zip code for 8222. The world's shortest scheduled commercial flight takes off between Westray and Papa Westray in Scotland, lasting an unbelievable 90 seconds. It covers just 1.7 miles and is frequently used by teachers commuting between the islands. Abraham Lincoln was reportedly the first U.S. president to bring cats into the White House, considering his cat Tabitha a very important part of his family. He even reportedly fed her with a golden fork. Early medieval chess pieces, especially in Europe, were often abstract and non-representational, totally different from today's realistic figures. The Norse Lewis Chessmen from the 12th century are some of the most famous examples. Hawaii is the only U.S. state that actually grows coffee commercially thanks to its rich volcanic soil and tropical climate. The Kona region on the Big Island is especially famous for its premium Arabica beans. Spain's highest peak, Mount Titide, casts the world's largest shadow over the sea from a single mountain. At sunrise or sunset, its colossal size creates a triangular shadow stretching an astonishing 40 kilometers across the ocean. Even cruising at high-altitude airplane engines sometimes spool down to near idle for fuel efficiency rather than running full blast. Modern jets like a Boeing 747 can glide about 2.5 miles for every 1,000 feet of altitude. America's very first ginger ale Vernors was created in Detroit back in 1866 by pharmacist James Werner. Legend says he left his concoction in a wooden barrel for 4 years, creating its unique zesty flavor. Creme Puff from Austin, Texas, lived to be an astonishing 38 years and 3 days old, making her the oldest cat ever recorded. Her owner also had a cat that lived to 34, so he clearly knew their secret. Medieval Europeans loved their bathhouses, and often bathed quite regularly, even daily, until the fear of disease, like the Black Death in the 14th century, made public bathing less common. They even had steam rooms and massages. Stubbed and Orange Tabby served as the honorary mayor of Talkeetna, Alaska for 20 years, winning every election. He even survived an assassination attempt by a dog, proving his political resilience. Pilots in the cockpit usually eat different meals to prevent both falling ill from food poisoning during a flight. This safety protocol minimizes risk, ensuring at least one pilot remains healthy to fly. The blockbuster movie Jurassic Park filmed many of its iconic prehistoric scenes across the Hawaiian Islands, particularly on Kauai. Those lush, dramatic landscapes perfectly captured the illusion of Isla Nublar's wild dinosaur habitats. Monks on China's sacred Mount Eme actually trained monkeys to steal from unsuspecting tourists for centuries. These clever primates would snatch belongings, providing a unique and highly effective method for collecting temple donations. Michigan's Upper Peninsula was once the site of America's first major mining boom, producing vast quantities of pure copper. The copper country around Houghton and Hancock supplied much of the nation's needs in the 19th century. Mount Washington in New Hampshire holds the incredible record for the highest wind speed ever recorded on Earth's surface. In 1934, instruments clocked a mind-boggling 231 miles per hour, making it one of the planet's wildest weather spots. All three types of volcanoes, shield cinder cone and stratovolcano, can be found in Hawaii, which is super rare in one single location. Kilauea is a shield volcano actively shaping the Big Island's landscape. The iconic Matterhorn saw its first successful ascent in 1865, but the triumphant moment quickly turned tragic on the descent. 4 of the 7 climbers perished, sparking massive public outcry and forever changing mountaineering safety standards. Mauna Kea in Hawaii is technically the tallest mountain on Earth when measured from its true base on the ocean floor. While only its peak rises above the waves, the volcano actually stretches over 1,221 meters from seafloor to summit. Mount Chimborazo's peak, located in Ecuador, is actually the point on Earth furthest from its center. Despite Mount Everest's higher elevation above sea level, our planet's equatorial bulge gives Chimborazo this unique distinction. Snow actually falls regularly on the summits of Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa on the Big Island during winter months. You can even sometimes ski or snowboard there, which is wild for a tropical paradise. Medieval engineers actually built incredibly complex clockwork automata, like the famous Strasbourg astronomical clock. These weren't just simple mechanisms. Some displayed astronomical data and even performed moving figures. Michigan's Porcupine Mountains Wilderness State Park contains the largest old-growth hardwood forest west of the Appalachian Mountains. These aren't just hills, they are proper rugged mountains forming a truly wild landscape. Animals could actually be put on trial and even executed for crimes in medieval Europe. In 1457, a sow and her piglets were tried for killing a child, with the sow executed and piglets acquitted due to their youth. During World War II, many cats served on naval ships, including submarines as mascots and pest controllers. One famous cat, Oscar, also known as Unsinkable Sam, survived the sinking of 3 different ships. The vibrant blues in manuscripts like the Book of Kells came from lapis lazuli, a super expensive stone imported all the way from Afghanistan. Its cost often rivaled that of gold, making these books incredibly valuable. Pineapple wasn't actually native to Hawaii, but was introduced by Spanish explorers and later became a huge industry. James Drummond Dole established his pineapple company there in 1901, revolutionizing the global fruit market. Juancho Irauskin Airport on Saba Island boasts the world's shortest commercial runway, a mere 1,300 feet long. Pilots must navigate extremely precise approaches with sheer cliffs at both ends. The Stratolaunch aircraft has the largest wingspan ever, stretching a massive 385 feet across, wider than an American football field. It's designed to carry and launch rockets into space from high altitudes. America's very first mile of paved concrete highway was laid in Detroit, Michigan on Woodward Avenue back in 1909. This pioneering stretch significantly improved driving conditions and paved the way for modern road infrastructure. Yes, there's actually a town in Michigan called Hell, located near Pinckney, where visitors love sending postcards from Hell. You can even become the mayor of Hell for a day and get an official proclamation. The world's first purpose-built movie theater opened in Detroit in 1905, aptly named the Nickelodeon. This innovative establishment charged only a nickel for admission, starting a cinematic revolution. Knights in full armor often wore chainmail cowses, which were essentially socks made of metal rings covering their legs. These offered flexible protection and looked pretty intense, especially combined with plate armor. The earliest form of high heels actually started in the medieval Near East, particularly among butchers to keep their feet out of blood on the floor. It wasn't until later centuries that they became a fashion statement. Felicette was the first and only cat to go to space, launched by France on October 18, 1963. She made it back safely after a 15-minute suborbital flight, becoming a true feline astronaut. PDSS. Badger, based in Ludington, is the last coal-fired passenger steamship operating on the Great Lakes and a designated National Historic Landmark. It's the only car ferry of its kind still shuttling passengers and vehicles across Lake Michigan. This New Zealand volcano, Mount Ngauruhoe, served as the iconic Mount Doom in the Lord of the Rings films. Its striking conical silhouette and active status made it the perfect fiery backdrop for the lands of Mordor. Just like human fingerprints, every cat's nose print is unique with its own distinct ridges and patterns. You could technically use it for identification, no. Microchipping is a lot less messy. Mount Waialae on Kauai is one of the wettest spots on Earth, receiving over 450 inches of rain annually. This extreme rainfall is why Kauai boasts such incredibly lush green landscapes and its nickname, the Garden Isle. The longest domestic cat ever recorded was a Maine Coon named Baravel from Italy, measuring a whopping 3 feet and 11.2 inches long. He was so big he almost looked like a tiny leopard. Climbing the 7 summits means conquering the highest mountain on each of the world's 7 continents. This incredibly demanding challenge was first achieved by Richard Bass in 1985, cementing his place in mountaineering history. Cats have a riding reflex that lets them twist their bodies mid-air to land on their feet, even surviving falls from incredible heights. One cat in New York famously fell 32 stories and only needed minor dental work. A cat's purr isn't just a sign of happiness. Its vibrations, usually between 25 and 150 hertz, might actually help heal bones and muscles. That's like having a tiny vibrating therapy machine on your lap. Commercial airplanes are actually struck by lightning way more often than you'd think, sometimes once per year per aircraft. Modern planes are designed with a Faraday cage effect to safely redirect the electrical charge without damage. During the High Middle Ages, witchcraft was generally seen as superstition and not a major crime against the church. Serious witch hunts like those in Salem actually ramped up much later in the early modern period. If you enjoyed these, subscribe for daily facts and catch the shorts too.